Hey, this is Derek from the Right Alt Podcast. Few quick thoughts on the sign Gun Free Zone. I don't know what goes through people's minds when they see a gun free zone sign. But people aren't dense. Okay, people are dense, but they're not like so completely stupid that when they see a gun free zone, they're gonna think, oh, well, that means that violence doesn't happen here. No, what they think is what happens if you're seen with a gun or carrying a gun in a gun-free zone. You're gonna get in trouble. It's the same thing with a sign that says no spitting, or no peeing in the pool, or no tobacco. It's a way of saying we don't want that kind of behavior here because we attract a certain kind of clientele, or we want to make this a friendly space. It's also has to do with property rights, right? So if somebody owns a restaurant and they don't want chewing tobacco in their restaurant, which makes sense, they're going to put up a sign that says no smoking, no tobacco. It makes perfect sense. If somebody is running a private school, and they don't want guns on the premise of the school, which doesn't make much sense nowadays, they're going to put a gun-free zone sign up there. And I think that if you get a gun-free zone sign specifically, the government will give it to you, or it's offered as part of. I think it's offered for free by your local police department. But when people see a gun-free zone sign, they're not going to think violence doesn't happen here. They're just going to say, okay, there aren't going to be guns here. It's a really stupid argument that people on the right use every single time a gun violence or a massacre happens with guns in the United States. And because gun-free zones are so common, they're going to say, oh, well, it's a gun-free zone, and that's how you treat in gun-free zones, and if people had guns in gun-free zones, this wouldn't happen. See, this is what happens when you ban guns. And it's the lamest fucking argument. I don't even know if it's a straw man. It's just stupid. I guess it is a straw man, because if you read The Wizard of Oz, the straw man didn't have a brain. Well, it's a scarecrow, but he was made of straw. You get the idea. People want to feel safe when they're out in public. Now, some people don't feel safe when there are cops around. That's their problem. But overall, people see a cop and they feel that they're somewhat protected. And I think that if they, at least in America, see a cop, they know that the cop has a gun or a taser or bear spray or bear mace, whatever. And they know that the cop is going to be on their side. I think the right needs to stop using that stupid argument about the gun-free zone signs, because it doesn't work. People on the left know it's a stupid argument. They hardly ever respond to it because it's really fucking stupid. Okay, we know that guns aren't allowed in a gun-free zone sign. Everybody knows that a criminal isn't going to see a gun-free zone sign and say, oh, well, I should probably not take my gun here and use a knife instead. Okay, everybody knows that a criminal is a criminal and they're going to do criminal things. They're going to disobey laws, especially signs. How many times in a day do you disregard a sign? No smoking 20 feet from the door. Stop sign, yielding sign, pedestrian yield sign. It's very common. We don't have to obey every sign. It's not like signs have feelings or know when they're being ignored. Every time that the United States is faced with another act of gun violence, the right brings up this stupid point, and it needs to go away. We need to come up with better arguments. Right-wingers and libertarians and ANCAPs, we're smarter than this. And to shove a sign in somebody's face and say, oh, well, they disobeyed the sign, is really an act of immaturity. Now, maybe you have some ideas on how to create better arguments, and that's what this channel is about, creating better arguments. I've been guilty of using this gun-free zone sign argument because when I first saw it, I'm like, oh wait, that's clever. Oh, that's really clever. Yeah, criminals aren't going to obey signs, are they? And I used it because it was clever and it was new and it just seemed like a nice punch in the ribs. But it's stupid. And I know I'm not stupid, so why the hell am I using it? Because it's clever. Because it points to an obvious contradiction and it's something that you can use as an argument in a debate about gun control. And it's not an argument. It's not even close to an argument. It's a fucking sign. So that's just been a random thought. My name is Derek from the Ride Alt Podcast. Please come back for more quick content like this. You'll see more videos from Alex and myself coming up soon. Have a great evening.